What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's HP.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we're gonna go take a look at a Turo car.
Today we are taking our Honda Accord.
And not the cool Maserati.
Not the Maserati. Which really should be out on rentals right about now, but is not.
It's in jail.
Now we are taking our Honda Accord today, which we actually never have around. It's always being rented out because a guest returned it a few days early stating that she felt unsafe because the car was making some sort of grinding noise and that she felt like the brakes weren't working properly. Now HP already test drove the car for quite a while and we weren't able to replicate the issue, but we figure we may as well take this car on the hour and 15-minute long trek to Fort Worth. That way we can really put it to the test and see if there are any issues.
Brake test.
Oh my god.
I don't hear any grinding.
No grinding. Stopped pretty efficiently. You know you're in Fort Worth when you're surrounded by, what are these?
Grain factories and silos and whatnot. So we're about 10 minutes away. We're all the way out west Fort Worth, Texas, and we're picking up this 2012 Mazda 2. It's a beautiful powder blue, but this vehicle does have a little bit of damage on the outside. We'll get into more of that later, and we may not even be picking it up. We might just be going to go look at a bad car, but everything looks pretty good, except for the fact the car doesn't even have a title. Why, Aubrey?
So we found this car on Facebook Marketplace. Like HP said, it's a 2012 Mazda. The Carfax checks out. The mileage is good. The car, all in all, is clean, all things considered. But there are two big pieces of the puzzle that will ultimately, I think, either make this buy a really good buy or ultimately a bad one that we'll have to pass on. Now, HP mentioned that it does have some body damage. The damage was hard to tell exactly what it was and like what it looked like from the photos, but the owner of the car was pretty upfront with the fact that the body damage was there. But the second piece of the puzzle is the title. He does not have the title to the car. Now, this is fortunately something that we've actually never dealt with directly, but we've worked really closely with a title bonding company in the past, and they had told us that getting a car with no title actually isn't a bad thing to do, and you can get a bonded title in replace of that. Now, if you guys are interested in learning the process of getting bonded titles, we can certainly make a separate video on that. But basically, from talking with this guy who owns a bonded title company, he let us know, like, hey, if you ever find a car that doesn't have a title, get a bonded title and then use the fact that there isn't a title as a bargaining chip for lowering the price. If you plan on keeping the car forever, then having a bonded title won't be a big deal. Now, bonded titles are fine for Turo. It's branded titles that can cause an issue, and bonded titles are perfectly fine. So because of the fact that this car does not have a title, we were able to negotiate the price down to $3,000, which is $2,000 less than the Mazda 2 that we bought a couple of months ago.
And it's identical.
Yeah, it's identical. It's a different color, but it looks basically the same.
Since there's no title to sign, we brought a bill of sale, which Aubrey printed out so we can, you know, make it official that, hey, we're buying a car, we're not just giving some rando $3,000. We're gonna take a look at that damage on the right side. Already been doing some research on how we're gonna fix that problem, and then we're also gonna take a look at some window switches that the guy was also upfront about and said that they don't work, but just on this side, which in our experience before has been an easy fix or a very terribly hard fix, like previous damage. But those are pretty much the main things we're gonna look at that we know are areas of concern, and then do my, you know, once around to make sure it looks pretty good. So now let's look at this car.
Introducing our newest and one of our cheapest purchases ever, our new to us 2012 Mazda 2.
All right, so the deed is done. We are picking up a 2012 Mazda 2. Now, the story behind this car is kind of one of those weird stories that it sounds believable, and every person that's selling a car has a story. I even have stories sometimes. But this one, the story actually is real.
It seems.
It seems. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that shows that it was real. Aubrey pulled the Carfax, and there's been no record on this car since 2018. Fair. A lot of my cars don't have records because I do my own maintenance, but this car was sitting and this was facing the sun, and this is pretty evident based on cobwebs on the mirrors. Both of these windows weren't working, and it's just been pretty dirty. It looks like someone just got done doing their lawn and smacking the side with dirt and everything. So this car is really clean, with the exception of a couple of bumps and hiccups and whatnot. This side isn't the prettiest. It's been damaged more than once. I can kind of tell by some of the damage that it has on it. And this door does not look good at all, but that's okay. We have a fix for that. Going on some part finding websites, I found some doors relatively cheap. It's the entire door. I don't need the entire door, but we're gonna get the entire door. That's what happens. So, not bad for $3,000.
So far in kind of our preliminary research of this car, mechanically it doesn't seem like it needs anything. It does need the door, it does need some body work done. It obviously needs a new windshield, which is really, really bad. But HP's kind of priced it out, and it should cost between $800 and $900 to get this car to like pretty great condition.
Yeah.
And whenever you take that into account, $3,800, $3,900 for this car is a big win.
If it wasn't for the door, it'd be a lot cheaper, but yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the door, it would honestly be ready to go in like a week. But the door definitely adds some complexity, but that's okay because we think we have a fix for that, which will be great.
So the inside isn't terrible. It's not clean, but it's not really dirty. It's not filthy. Maybe a little bit of this is a little filthy, but this is exactly what you'd expect from somebody selling a car for $3,000. And if it looked cleaner, I'd be a little more suspicious about it, but this looks just about right.
So you guys, there you have it, the newest addition to the fleet. Now the goal is to get this car up and running in a couple of weeks. We'll ultimately see how that ends up working out. Now we know that we said that we weren't going to buy any new cars until we got our current cars fixed, but this was just simply a deal that we could not refuse. So we currently still have 3 cars sitting. We have 2 Hyundais and now we have this Mazda, but the goal is to get them all up and running by the probably mid next month, within the next 4 weeks or so. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Now we'll be doing a separate video on all the upkeep and maintaining and getting this vehicle ready for Turo. So if you're interested in seeing what it takes to make a $3,000 vehicle into a cash cow, then stay tuned for that video. As always guys, thanks again for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next episode.